So check this bad boy out. This was dropped off this morning. This is the new AMI Ruckus Rake. Pretty much it's a power rake for the skid steer, and it's got hydraulic tilt, angles left and right. And that's pretty much about all I know about it right now. I've got to, it's got electrical connection. I've got to figure all that stuff out and make sure everything's set up, because normally you just have your one function, and I think that's going to run the rake itself. So I'll have two other functions for the tilt and for the angle cylinder function. So I'm going to get the straps cut on this thing and see if I can get it hooked up to the skid steer. It's kind of a little bit of an angle, but I think I can scoop it up and plug everything in and see how everything functions. It's going to be interesting. So I got the rake attached to the skid steer and got all the lines hooked up and the electrical connections. I'm going to have to probably run this thing by the dealer. Something's off with the plug because I can't get the tilt cylinder function to work. I can get my angle to work and the rake to work, but I can't get it. He said, I called the service manager and he said there's several different configurations to how those prongs can be, and I'll be honest with you, I don't know how to find out which ones it needs to be moved to. So I just undid one of the lines there to get the rake level, and I'm gonna go try it out for a little bit and see how it works. All right, so check this out. This is the new AMI 84-inch Ruckus Rake with the power tilt, power angle, power rake. So on this machine, as you saw the other day, I just got it in. I actually had to take it to the dealer because something was wired up wrong, and there was a switch bad in the machine. So I was only getting the angle and obviously the rake function. The tilt was not working, so we got that fixed, and then we discovered that the rake was not spinning near as fast as it should because the priority valve in this machine was at a setting that it didn't need to be at to run this. So this is a standard flow machine which produces like 23 gallons a minute wide open. This rake can handle up to 18 to 40 gallons a minute, so obviously a high flow machine would be great for this, but this is a machine I could get at the time, and as anybody knows, it's kind of hard to come by equipment right now. So this is what I got to work with. We're able to adjust that. It does spin about 2.5 times faster than it did when I first got it. Obviously it would spin very fast on a high flow machine, but like I said, this is what I got, and I'm going to try it out today. So what I'm going to do is this is the new farm that I bought, and as you can tell, all the pigweed was coming back. Actually had the farmer come back out here 2 days ago and spray all this stuff, and he sprayed some good stuff, because literally this stuff was just as brown as it was yesterday, which was 24 hours after he sprayed it. So the reason I didn't spray that, I got sunflowers planted in there. Obviously the weeds have taken over as well, but once they flower, I'll chop that down and probably spray that as well. But what I want to do is come out here, and you can see where I tried it out the other day when I realized it wasn't spinning fast enough and had a couple issues. I want to regrade this whole entire field as it's been farmed over the years. It's got a lot of ruts and rows in it, and I'm going to turn it into a hay field here, and I prefer it to be a lot smoother when I have to cut it and whatnot. So that's the plan. It's right at 13 acres, so it's a lot to do with a 84-inch rake. But I'm going to get started this afternoon and see what it does. So I'm going to start working right in here, pretty much all the areas that I don't have to like push trees out to and disturb it, like all along the edges over there. I'm not too worried about it, but from like here to just about that far side, I want to try to get a good field prep like this right here. That would just be a lovely finish right there, that I could come in here and go ahead and drill some seed in the ground. At least get it to right here, then I can drag over it this fall. It's probably best to wait till this fall and reseed it in some ryegrass. So without further ado, let's see what it does. kind of see if you go over it about 2 or 3 times, it really breaks it up real good and gets all the mess out of it. So I have actually run over this with a grater. Over there I haven't touched it at all, and there's a whole lot more rock back there in the back, so I'm gonna go back there and try it out and kind of see what it does. This is kind of the nice clean side of the farm that has all nice, pretty much like a sandy topsoil, but back here in the back there's a lot of rock. So let's go back there and see what this thing does to all that rock. So the verdict is, I think it works pretty good. Like I said, if it was a high flow, I think it would work a lot better machine. But for what I just did right there, I literally went forwards and then backwards, and look at all the rocks that it picked up and raked up. So imagine if I went over that several times, how much rock that would get up. So I'm probably going to bush hog all this first, and I think all that weed material getting all bound up in front of it is kind of keeping it from raking as good as it should, at least on the first pass. So I didn't get near as much stuff when I back dragged with the rake pulling it back towards me. Obviously I'm not going to get all the rocks, but as you can see right here, that one right there was a good pass. So if I can just kind of work over here and just kind of get all these rocks, these round rocks like this right here, I'm not too worried about. I'm just trying to get all the bigger stuff out like that that'll tear up some grain drills. More like stuff like that. That hurts when you're bush hogging and it hits that and then sprays chunks of rocks everywhere. And then I wanted to go down here and try this area that I'd cleared. It was just... So I'm back over here this evening with the skid steer and the Ruckus Rake. We finally got some rain and it's not a giant dust cloud when I'm out here raking. So I just made a few passes just to see what it looked like. I've been kind of working on all that over there. What I'm doing is running over this entire field since I'm turning into pasture and just trying to level it out, get some of the rocks and everything out. There's not a whole lot of rocks right here. More or less what I'm doing right here is just trying to smooth it up so that it's a little easier to mow and cut the hay. But what I'm trying to accomplish here is, like I say, just level it out so where they've tended it. It doesn't look bad, but it's actually very bumpy. So this does a great job on just running down here and just knocking all the high spots down and raking out the rocks as well. So what I've been doing is making one pass forward and backwards, and then I'll come in here once I get about 50 feet done, and I will do it in the opposite direction, and I'll make a windrow right here, and then I'll come over there about 50 feet and do it once all that's raked, and do it this way and create a windrow. And when you do it in two directions, it really kind of levels it out nicely, like this over here. And then I can just run down here with the track loader. Yeah, I mean, mostly there's a little bit of dirt in it, but as you can tell, it gets a lot of the rocks up, and just scoop that up with the loader and go dump that in a pile somewhere. But this is what I'm shooting for. These little gravel like this, I'm fine, but just see how much smoother it is. It just makes life a lot easier when you have to maintain all this. So I've done this in about just a few minutes. I'll set the camera up and we'll do a little bit of raking. I'm happy with it. Overall, I'm very happy with it. The only thing I do regret is that machine not being a high flow. I really think it needs the extra flow to really spin that head. It does a lot better than it did, but I still think it's on the lower end of the flow rating at 23 gallons a minute, and it's rated for up to 40. So I think it would definitely spin it a lot faster, but it's what I got to work with, and that's what I'm going to use.